The diplomatic vessel arrived without warning, elegant and silent against the starry backdrop. The Terran High Council convened immediately. First contact protocols had been established decades ago, but theory and practice were vastly different matters. Admiral Lee stood before the projections of Terra's political leaders, her uniform crisp despite the late hour. The vessel has made no aggressive movements. They're broadcasting on all frequencies in what appears to be a universal mathematical language. Have we translated their message? Asked Counselor Wilson, his hologram flickering slightly. Yes, they call themselves the Vex. They claim to be representatives of a galactic community, and they've invited us to join. The Admiral's face remained neutral, but her eyes betrayed caution. The council chambers erupted in excited murmurs. Humanity's greatest dream, contact with benevolent aliens, seemed to be unfolding. Only Counselor Davis remained silent, watching the Admiral's expression. "You don't trust them," she stated. "Trust is earned," Admiral Lee replied. "I've dispatched Commander Reed and a diplomatic team. We'll proceed with caution." Commander Reed had never seen such technology. The Vex vessel's interior defied human engineering principles, with corridors that seemed to bend space itself. Their hosts moved with fluid grace, their blue-tinged skin shimmering under the ambient light. "Your species has evolved remarkably," said Nax, the Vex ambassador. "The Galactic Concord welcomes Terra with open appendages." Reed smiled diplomatically. "We're honored, but we have questions before any formal agreements." Of course, Nax's four eyes blinked in sequence. "Full transparency is our way." Over the next 3 days, the Vex shared technological wonders beyond human comprehension. Medical devices that could cure any ailment, energy systems that would end Terra's resource struggles, faster-than-light travel theories that would open the galaxy to human exploration. When Reed's team returned to Earth, they brought gifts and promises. The Council was ecstatic. Only Admiral Lee maintained her reservations. "It seems too generous," she argued during a closed session. "No species gives without taking." "Perhaps their morality evolved beyond our understanding," Counselor Wilson countered. The Admiral's jaw tightened. "Or perhaps we're being softened for something worse." Her concerns were noted but overruled. Terra would join the Galactic Concord. The integration was swift. Vex advisors arrived on Terra, establishing embassies in major cities. Their technology elevated human capabilities in medicine, agriculture, and space travel. Global poverty rates plummeted. Diseases vanished. The planet celebrated a new golden age. 6 months later, Admiral Lee received a transmission from an unknown source. It came through channels the Vex had provided for deep space communication, but it wasn't from the Concord. "This is Captain Thomas of the Human Resistance Fleet," came the message. "We are what remains of the colonies that trusted the Vex. Do not allow them to establish planetary defense systems. Do not." The transmission cut abruptly. Lee immediately took this to the Council, but found them unreceptive. "A hoax," declared Wilson. "Someone trying to sabotage our relationship with the Concord." "Or a warning from humans who've dealt with the Vex longer than we have," Lee countered. Davis sided with Lee. "We should at least investigate before the defense grid goes online next month." The Council compromised. Admiral Lee would lead a small expedition to the coordinates embedded in the message, but the integration would continue as planned. The coordinates led to the ruins of a once thriving colony. Human architecture lay shattered beneath alien bombardment. Lee's team found data cores in the rubble, and what they contained chilled her to the bone. Video logs showed the same pattern they'd experienced. First contact, technological gifts, integration, and then betrayal. Once the Vex defense systems were fully online, they'd overridden all human control and systematically eliminated resistance. "They're not conquerors," Lee realized. "They're harvesters. They use our worlds until they're depleted, then move on." Her ship raced back to Terra, but they were too late. The defense grid had been activated ahead of schedule. When Admiral Lee's vessel approached Earth, they found Vex warships emerging from previously invisible jump points. The defense grid was targeting human military installations, not external threats. Lee broadcast on all frequencies. "Attention all human forces. The Vex are hostile. This is not a drill. Disable the defense platforms by any means necessary." On Terra, chaos erupted. Commander Reed, now stationed at Pacific Command, received the message and immediately ordered his technicians to sever connections to the Vex systems. But the integration was too complete. Human technology had become dependent on Vex protocols. Ambassador Nax appeared on global communications. Your species was warned about the Vex by others. We intercepted those warnings, yet you chose trust over caution. Terra has proven itself unworthy of survival. Reed's team managed to disable 3 defense platforms before Vex forces stormed their facility. With his last breath, Reed activated a hardened communications array designed for just such a betrayal. His message was simple. Humanity gave just one warning. Remember Terra. Trust nothing. Admiral Lee's ship was one of 17 vessels that escaped the massacre. From the darkness of space, they watched their homeworld burn, its surface scarred by precise orbital strikes that targeted military and government centers while leaving resource-rich areas intact. "What now?" asked her second-in-command. Lee's eyes remained fixed on the dying blue sphere. "We find the other human survivors. We build, we remember." She turned to face her crew, determination hardening her features. "And we make sure the Vex regret not heeding our warning." The small fleet vanished into the void, carrying humanity's last hope and the most valuable lesson they'd ever learned. In a universe of wonders, trust must be earned, not freely given. Terra had paid the price for that lesson, a price the survivors would ensure was not forgotten. And somewhere in the vast darkness between stars, other human colonies received Commander Reed's final transmission. They prepared, they'd watched, they waited. The humans would give no second warning.